What is happening, everyone? Welcome to Dr. Prepper. Today we're going to be covering some survival and preparedness items that would make great gifts for people who are either already into the survival and preparedness world, or they're getting into the survival and preparedness world, or if you're just looking for some gear that is going to have some versatility and some utility to it. This is mainly going to be directed at people who are looking to get someone a gift, but could also make yourself, a nice list of items that you could acquire. We have a couple items sitting out already. I will link all this stuff down below. I don't have, any sponsors through these companies or anything like that. They are mainly products that I use myself and work good or work very good. So we'll kick it off with the Exotac Titan Light. This isn't going to be the only Exotac product. We have one more, but they're a USA company. They make their products in the US and they do a fantastic job. I've been using their products for years. I love their stuff. Very well made, all aluminum housing. Now, this is like a Zippo lighter. Hell, it's still lighting now. And the best feature about this lighter is that it is able to retain the fluid. Unlike your standard Zippo, this has two O-rings and a top cap that stays airtight. I have tested this exact Titan light, filled this up with fluid, and it lasted around a year. Now, obviously, with no use, I tightened it all up, filled it up, and I let it sit for a year. And after a year, it was still lighting. So that is pretty impressive. I thought it was dead, and I think it is, but it had that one last light in it. But this is a nice piece of gear. I will link them down below. They're typically between 50 and 70 bucks. On the higher end, 70 bucks is a little pricey, but this is kind of a one and done type of item. If you get this, you're not going to be needing to fill this up every day like you would your standard Zippo because of the fuel evaporating and all that sort of thing. Definitely a nice piece of gear. If you're a gearhead or you like different pieces of gear, definitely worth taking a look at that Exotac Titan Light. This is an item I featured on my other channel because I love them. I have like 4 of these. This is the Titan Survival Survivor Cord Bracelet. You get 11 feet of survivor cord, and it has fishing line in it, has jute twine in it, snare wire, and to have 11 feet of paracord at your disposal whenever you could possibly need it or in an emergency, having 11 feet of cordage is going to get the job done in a lot of instances. And the great thing is these are very adjustable and they come in a multitude of different sizes and colors. I'll link these down below along with the rest of the items. These usually come in right around 30 bucks. But they're having discounts and deals for this time of year, so it's a perfect time to go snag one of these. These would make a nice gift. It comes with extra of these bolts to secure it, and it's just a nice piece of gear to, have with you at all times, and they look pretty damn good as well. Let's get to the next item. So the next thing we have to take a look at has been featured on the channel before, and I love this thing. This thing has been proving itself over the last couple of years to me, and it just continues to work. I have tested this thing. I've left it out in very cold temperatures. It's been in very hot temperatures. I've used it to charge like 4 things at the same time. It holds a good charge. It charges pretty quickly depending on how you're charging it. It has, you know, a flashlight on this side, and that is your charging port. It comes with a couple of different cables in order to charge it via the wall, via your car, a couple other ways as well, solar panel. And that takes us into our next item, which is a wireless, or it is a portable solar panel. Now, this is something that I am in the middle of testing out. So this is kind of a, you know, there's no guarantee with this one. The testing is not complete on this. It is something I picked up through either Amazon or Temu. I can't remember. And, you know, Temu and Amazon, a lot of the stuff, you know, is hit or miss. But, you know, I wanted something that I could have at least a little bit of solar capabilities to maybe charge either some battery banks or this power station. It seems, you know, I've had it for about a week, and it seems like it's decently made. It does charge when the sun is hitting it. You know, it does have an indicator light in this pocket, and you just plug your USB device in there, and that is what you use in order to charge your object. It does come with two little carabiners if you want to hang it off something, hang it off your backpack. The testing will tell us now, is this, you know, a very expensive $200 portable solar panel? No, it is not. I think these come in under 20 bucks. I'll link them down below. This is just something I wanted to try. You know, it wasn't a lot of money, and if it does its job even a little bit, I'll be pretty happy with it. You know, if it has the ability to last and charge up some battery banks and that sort of thing, I'll be pretty happy for under that $20 price point. And I just kind of wanted to get a feel, you know, for these portable solar panels. I'll be definitely getting some more, but for under 20 bucks, it seems, you know, pretty durable. It seems pretty well made. I will link them down below, and you can take a look for yourself at these. But we'll have future videos on this and how it is doing. Let's get to the next one. Next up is going to be imperative, in my opinion. I have a couple of these. These fire blankets, they come in a couple of different sizes, and I have one in my kitchen, and then I have one on the other side of my house as well. I also keep fire extinguishers in various places of the house. One in the main bedroom, one in the bathroom, one in the kitchen, and I also have one just stashed in a closet. Because you never know where you might be when something will happen. And this is another one of these fire blankets that I picked up. So I now have 3 of them, but they have, you know, I'll hang it by this hook here. So that way these are down. And if you know, you have a stove fire or anything like that, you can pull these quick tabs and it'll pull right out, and you can, you know, put the fire out if you need to. I think it's a good investment. These are not that expensive at all, and you can never be, you know, too careful, too prepared, in my opinion. And having a couple of these items, you know, maybe one in your vehicle, a couple in the house, you can look up videos on these, and they seem to work very well. Mostly all of them are made in China from, you know, what I can tell. But, you know, they do make some decent stuff, or quite a bit of decent stuff over there. It is a wide scale from junk to great. And in my experience, these fire blankets seem to be pretty good items. I will link these fire blankets down below, and hopefully you can get yourself one at a good price. I want to say these range between $10 and $40 depending on what size you get. Let's go ahead and get to the next one. Next up is going to be a lantern. Now this is the Olight Pro Lantern 2, and the cool thing about this is it is also a power bank, so it has a lot of capability. The lighting is very nice. It also looks very good. Now I am a huge fan of different ways to light my house and light up my areas. I like flashlights, I like portable lights, but lanterns, as far as giving you light in your house in, the power's out type of situation or something like that, these are fantastic. Now, I wouldn't go with just only rechargeable lanterns. I have propane lanterns. I have rechargeable lanterns. I have AA lanterns. I have lanterns that take D-cell batteries. I like to have variety, that way if I have propane, I can use the propane ones. If I have these charged up, I can use these ones, so on and so forth. But the ability to have 360-degree light and the ability to change the brightness, these are very well made, and they are also very stylish looking too. It's kind of an antique look. You do have the carry handle or hang handle, and it has a nice little guard on there. And then you also have another hook for hanging it as well. You do have these nice padded bottoms here, and there is your charging port or your charging area for the lantern. Does it have to be this one? No, I will link a couple other ones down below, but this is my most used lantern, for when the power is still on. This is something I use out here in my little studio area quite a bit, and I'm a big fan of this light. It's very tough and rugged. I've left this out in very cold temperatures, very hot temperatures, and it just continues to work. They have a couple different lanterns there at Olight, but this is by far my favorite one. Let's go ahead and get to the next item. Now, I'm probably the last person that you want to ask about comms or, learn from, but I do know they are good to have, and right now you can get these Baofeng walkies for around $20. Having a couple of these in your, in your preps, in your bags, definitely a good little item to have. You can use these in emergencies even if you don't have your licensing. You bet your ass if there's an emergency or something like that, I'm using it. Or if shit goes to hell, I'm definitely going to be using it. And they have little kits that come with a charging stand, that come with an earpiece, and quite a bit of other stuff. And for $20, that is a nice little piece of gear. You can get extended antennas, and I keep mine right here with my scanner. And I have another one in my bag, and I plan on getting one or two more as well. It is also a good idea to have some just regular walkie-talkies. Get some decent ones though, and then that way you can have one and the other people in your party or your significant other can have the other, and that way you have at least some line of communication within a certain distance. But these are coming in right around $20 right now, and I think it's a great piece of gear to just have, and then you can, once you have it, then you can learn all the nuances about it. Definitely recommend having a couple different ways to communicate other than your cell phone. I have a couple sets of walkie-talkies, and like I said, I have a couple of these as well, and I am very much trying to learn more about the communication side of prepping and survival. It is definitely one of the items that I am the least experienced with, without question. Let's go ahead and we'll get to the next one. Now this next item is another item I am currently testing. This is an electric lighter, and I really never saw these or found these to be much, of interest to me. But then I was like, well, I might as well try it and kind of see what they're all about. Now this is from Explorer. You do have this side latch here, that way the top won't just pop open on you. This is supposed to be waterproof and airtight. You have this little push button here that flips open the lid. You have your USB charging port there. Now this is an X pattern, an X arc pattern, and I've been testing this for the last couple of days very heavy, actually marking how long I have it lit, how long it's taken to charge from dead to full. You can get a full charge from dead on this in about 1 to 1.5 hours, all the way full. It does have an indicator light letting you know that it is charging and charged up. You can see ashes falling from it because I have been testing this, and I think this wouldn't be my sole only way to light items for sure. Of course it wouldn't be. I would have a regular lighter. I would have some, a ferrocerium rod. But if you had this charged up and you had the right type of tinder, this thing works very, very well. Very well. Now, it has to be charged up and that sort of thing. But if you have the right tinder, you have this thing charged up, and even if it's windy out, this thing stays lit. I had this outside, and it was probably 15, 20, maybe even 25 mile per hour winds the other day, and this thing just stayed lit. So it's pretty impressive on some aspects. The only thing I don't like about it is it's going to need recharged at some point. And when you need something, if this is dead and this is all you have, then you're out of, your shit out of luck. But would this be a nice item to have in addition to some of your other fire starting equipment? That's what we're trying to find out. But if it holds up and continues working the way that it has been, I think this would be a nice addition to your fire starting kit. I will link this down below as well. I don't think they're very expensive, under 15 bucks, I believe, and you get 300 plus full charges out of this. It's guaranteed 300, and more than likely you would get a little bit more than that, but we're also going to keep track of that as well. Seems pretty well made. You have a little lanyard spot there. So far, I've been pretty happy and pretty impressed with this, but time will tell how this holds up. Let's get to the next one. Now, if you know someone who is into survival and preparedness, they like everyday carry type of items, they're into camping or they're into hiking, that sort of thing, a good folding knife will go a long way. And if you're looking for something that is ultra tough, that's going to hold up, the lock is going to hold up, then I wouldn't look much further than Cold Steel, especially the AD10 Lite and the original AD10, which is going to be a little bit more money than the light version. But with the light version, you're getting a nice thick spine of AUS 10. You do have that Tanto blade that's going to be pretty useful in a lot of situations. Triad lock, you're getting G10 handles, a very stout pocket clip, and you have a lanyard hole down there at the bottom. You can typically get these for around 70 bucks, and it can be opened and closed one-handed once that lock breaks in. This is definitely a great folding pocket knife to have in your preps. This would be one of the first folding knives that I would recommend to someone who's looking for something that's durable, gonna last, that's made well. The AD10 from Cold Steel or the AD10 Lite are definitely two fantastic options. Let's go ahead and get to the next one. Next up is going to be a good multi-tool. Now, does it have to be Leatherman? No. I do like Leatherman's quite a bit. I also like Gerber. I also like SOG. And I've also found some other gems. Amazon Basics actually has a good multi-tool for under 20 bucks that we'll be doing a video on here relatively soon. But there are tons of options out there. I like the Leatherman Free P2 as far as one that has a lot of different capabilities and is not too heavy. Definitely has some weight to it compared to some other multi-tools, but it's definitely not the heaviest one either. You do have the one-handed opening, so this will be, good in some things and not so good at others. You do have your standard pliers. This also has a pocket clip, which some multi-tools don't have. Some of them are, meant for a pouch. This one does have a clip, which makes it nice. It also has scissors on it, which I really like. Having a pair of pliers and a pair of scissors both, that's an awesome feature to me. It also has, your standard file, Phillips head, flathead, bottle opener, can opener. It's got the works to it, and they are built very well, made in the US, and very hard to beat. Now, they are a little bit more money than, some. I'll link a few other options down below as well. If the Leatherman Free series is a little bit too expensive, I'll have a few other ones linked down below. But to get USA made quality, good quality, backed by a good company, the Leatherman series of multi-tools, whether we're talking the Skeletal all the way up to the Free series and some of their newer multi-tools, definitely a high recommend for your preps, having in a bag, having in a pouch. You might not need it at home where you have your tools and other things, but having this in a pouch or a vehicle when you are out and about, these can be a game changer for sure. Let's get to the next one. Next up, we have one more item that I am actually currently testing. I'll link this down below. Like I said, this is a solar rechargeable battery bank and flashlight. It's actually got a yellow quad light on one end, and then it's got a work light on this end, and then on this end, it's got a quad white light, and you can also use it in conjunction with the other light. So it's got a lot of different lighting capabilities, whether you need just a standard work light or if you're out and about and you need, some light in front of you. And the cool thing about this is if you turn this end on, you can have a light ahead of you and a light behind you. Say you're walking in a group, being able to light what's behind you and in front of you at the same time, I think is a cool feature. And then it also has the capability to, charge via the solar panel, and you have the battery bank. Like I said, I am currently testing this out to see how durable it is, to see how well that solar panel works, to see how the battery bank works, to see how it holds up, all that sort of thing. But these are also, another very affordable option when it comes to lighting and solar panel capabilities with a little battery bank built in. It's a multifunctional item that is on the very budget side of things. But like I said before, if it holds up and it works to its capacity, and it doesn't just break for no apparent reason. For under 20 bucks, this might be a decent item just to have put away. I would not solely rely on this as a battery bank. I wouldn't solely rely on this as a flashlight or a work light, but it would be something good, if it holds up, kind of like the electric lighter, to add to your preps, just to have, that extra piece of gear that will light up, give you some additional light and give you a little bit of additional power. And if it has the ability to charge on its own, you can charge it with the cable here, the USB-C, the USB, but it also has the ability to charge on its own, which is a very nice feature. So we'll see how this holds up. I'll link them down below and you can check them out. Let's get to the next one. If you're in the survival and preparedness world, or you're getting into it, you're gonna need a good fixed blade. And there are a lot of good fixed blade companies out there. There's a lot of good fixed blades. I'm a huge fan of Essie. I really like their products. I really like the company, what they stand for. They have the best warranty in the game when it comes to knives and fixed blades and that sort of thing. And they also do a great job on their finishing, on their materials. I have literally beat the hell out of a couple of Essies and they still look very good. They hold up very well. They're very comfortable. I really like the 4 and I really like the 6. These are going to range in pricing depending on what model, where you get it, and that sort of thing. I will try to link the cheapest version I can find down below. Still going to be around $100, but this is kind of a buy once, cry once type of a thing. You buy this and you have a fixed blade for life. They have a no questions asked lifetime guarantee. You do get a Kydex-like sheath. You do get a clip, and then you can obviously mount this with paracord, or you can buy aftermarket clips for this. Also comes with a paracord lanyard if you have some chopping to do. But SE basically speaks for itself. This is a fantastic all-around user fixed blade. It's going to do well at quite a bit, but it's going to have its limitations as far as chopping and that sort of thing. Would it still get the job done in a lot of instances? Yeah, I think it would. And I think a lot of people prefer this size over the 6, but then other people prefer the 6 over this size. So it just kind of depends on, what your preferences are. I prefer, if I could only have one, I would pick the 6. Because anything that this can do, the 6 can do pretty much just as well. And you have a little bit more capability with the longer blade, a little bit bigger of a fixed blade. But either one, the 4 or the 6, would be a great choice. Let's go ahead and get to the next one. Next up, we have a Sling Bag. Now, this is from Rattlesnake Tactical. This is something I've had for a couple of years, and I took this with me everywhere. For years, I took this with me, and it has held up very well. And these are not that expensive. They have a lot of capability. There's a bunch of different styles that you can get. I did put this one away for the most part and opted for a little less tactical looking sling bag as my everyday bag. I do have that featured in a different video, but this still remains a good sling bag and something I do use occasionally depending on the situation. but you have a nice front zipper pocket here. You have a medium size zipper pocket here with a open pouch, and you have 2 straps here. And then you have the full size zipper pouch here that has another pouch plus a place that you can put your EDC for your pistol. And then it also has a buckle clasp here that's very overbuilt and heavy duty. You have this kind of cushiony material here, and then you have a button to get in here that you can also put an EDC item or a fixed blade. Definitely a lot of capability with this sling bag. I will link these down below as well. Hopefully you got something out of this one, guys. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up button. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. Would love to have you here. Let me know down in the comments what you want to see next on the best items for Christmas gifts. Otherwise, guys, I'll catch you on the next one.